I'll go back to Squire Mitten for a bit. I did have this feeling that when he died, because he died in his 30s, he drank a phenomenal amount, and the only thing that his doctor said when he died was that he was surprised that he lived to be so old, and I think he was about 34 when he died. And I thought that the printmakers must have gone into absolute mourning, because they got such a lot of images of him, because if you see all these prints, they say things like Mitten rides a bear and Mitten on fire, and there's a brilliant one which says Mitten hunting ducks, which you'd think would be innocuous, but he actually used to take all his clothes off and hunt the ducks so that they wouldn't hear him coming, and it's this picture of him on an icy pond, which the Regency, when they had it engraved, actually cover him up a bit so that he isn't totally naked. But really funny. So I just thought that the printmakers probably went into a decline when he died. So this is called Death of the Popular English Print. No more Mitten rides a bear, to hounds on fire, mad cure for hiccups, frames fit only for the buyer. Annals listing bad behaviour and extreme, deny entry to vanished squirearchy. Chilled, standing sentry, those who dreaded invites, parson wiggling on, something about sins cleansed, carved heaven won. Printmakers lament, subject dust-bound, shunned visitors receive now cold in ground. No more mittens set alight with hounds, new gloom, consigns rich racing prints, fit only for a board's scant room. Something that Squire Mitten also did was when he went to cities, he just used to wander about all the time and sort of wander from place to place and occasionally knock on doors of people he thought he knew and ask them to let him in for the evening. And he had, Hope had this big menagerie of all sorts of things that tormented his servants, as did Lord Byron, so he had that in common with him, really. And so this is, I almost thought of that image from Frankenstein of the creature sort of wandering from place to place and occasionally meeting people and then wandering on again. And he struck me as very similar to the creature. So this is called From Frankenstein, in which Squire Mitten walks the city. His heart's beating, ruby hunting velvet, diamond-faced cards, seemingly everywhere, those miscast, lost, never counting himself among their host. Charging mobs, hawkers, beggars, cunning men, women glad enough to take coin, take him in. Corpsing streets navigates homeward turns, missing horse, turf, bitten rack of his menagerie wrecked house. He's not alone, Byron's ache-tormented servants could attest, but when dogs snapped, Mitten seldom hesitates to nip the bastards. Indulgence names bareback rides extravagant, quainter than sour-breathed truth. So all in all, a snarling, snuffing, yelping life. Dreams have him on a road, oak hung with a gamekeeper's gibbet, maybe a caged felon, horse departed, route misplaced, his gazers overburdened, ice obfuscates, crackles he's followed, watched, pursued in haste, his own rank creature, ambling white, be bothered, snow-blind, wastes. There is a ghost story that when Squire Mitten died, he haunted the coaching inn where it's called Tedgestott. And I thought about it and thought actually he's more likely to do what he did in life, which was he lived in Shropshire, he was a squire there, and he used to wander to some of the bigger farmhouses and knock on the door and say, can I come in and sit by the fire? And if you said yes, he brought his horse in with him. And there was sort of in the 19th century biography of him, there are these rather shocked letters saying his horse came in as well. We didn't expect that. And I thought that was a lot more likely than what he actually is supposed to haunt. Mitten's ghost. A local legend. Haunted tourist venue. The coaching inn where his cortege stopped. More likely, he'd been mooching some estate once farmland, fist hammering a barn conversion door. Flicking switch, uncertain electricity focusing door with man, outlined as if illumined by taxi headlights. Not fit for squire or beast, his chosen knight. If someone answered not knowing the stranger dead, then request to warm by plastic coals, and could his horse come too, least as this night's not fit for man nor beast. Fake coach lamps focused on with tender vision, coat's tattered prayer flag lifting, Mitten's outline shuddering, vanished in a blink, cold switches flick. To read you something from my new collection, Revue de Ville now, and as I said, this is in 3 sections. The first one is poems about art and artists. The second one is poems set in London, but quite a few of them have images from London ghost stories and from visual art. And the third one was a section based on the Goose Fair in Nottingham, based on a painting by a Nottingham artist called Arthur Spooner from the 1920s. And the poems on London, some of them did come from work for different London museums, and this particular one I'm going to read to you came from, I did a workshop at the Science Museum with an adult group, and they used little objects from the Wellcome collection, some of them, and one of the things they had was an anatomical Venus, which was a little female figurine, and you flip it open and you can see all the innards. Quite a disturbing thing, really. And for some reason, as I looked at it, I thought about the woman in Thomas de Quincey's book, Confessions of an English Opium Eater, because Thomas de Quincey fell for this prostitute called Anne who had saved his life, and he arranged to meet her in this particular spot in London, and she never turned up. And all the way through the book, he goes back to this spot to see if she's there, and she never is. And it's a really moving bit of the book, but for some reason this little figure reminded me of Thomas de Quincey. So this is what I ended writing. I am Thomas de Quincey, restless as the Thames. Like the river, my story's course runs rings around this city, sullying mudflats' brackish taste. I am Thomas de Quincey, quick scavenger of face for that gaze meeting mine in recognition. Know me when you see me. Listen, is that girl you're with my girl, Anne, my saviour, until crowds devoured her? I waited, Anne, I waited. Know me sitting near in overrated gastropubs, where you hope to impress by knowledge of wine. My presence shudders time, turning back clock fingers with a breath, wax to tallow, wine to gin. Shudder between me and yourself, begin examining mine and your city's similarities. Coster girls and harlots, preachers, stragglers, varlets, doctors, poets. In your mind's eye, one girl who could save your life, stretched cold, waxy as an anatomical Venus in a museum case. Moment between myself and you, face haggard in bar mirrors. We know, like mine, your girl doesn't return. The city swallows them. We never learn. Go, become me, scan outpatients and musty doors for Anne. Let Oxford Street smudge and blur your edges until you are De Quincey, soot blasted pigeon, ghosting city ledgers. I was lucky enough to be asked to co-write the Victoria and Albert Museum's creative writing web package. So if you go onto the V&A's website and you look at their creative writing web package, that's partly me. And at the end of it, they asked me if I'd choose 2 objects to write poems about. And because the V&A's collection's absolutely vast, it's a really hard thing to just think I'll just choose 2 things. But what did happen was one of the objects was absolutely obvious to me. As soon as they said it, I knew what I was going to pick. And what it is, I don't know if you've seen it, there's a new programme on TV called Ceramics, A Fragile History. And in the first episode they showed you this little 17th century stone glazed figure of a little girl that died. And her father ran the Fulham Pottery, and it was a portrait of her. It was like a sort of death mask, but it was actually a full sort of figure from the waist up. And it's in a case of brightly coloured objects. So you look in this case, which is really brightly coloured, and there's this little white figure, and it's really compelling and sad and beautiful. It's one of the most amazing things I think I've ever seen in any collection. And so when they said two objects, that had to be one of them really for me. And anyway, this is what I came up with. Little Song for Lydia Dwight, daughter of John Dwight, founder of the Fulham Pottery, died 1674, aged 6. Dead, Lydia Dwight, Fulham's salt daughter, shining in stoneware, blitzed bells appealing, told her hands herbal, milky glaze sealing her cosseted form. All but breeze laughter is captured, cerements cooling water. Dead Lydia Dwight, child beyond feeling, domed snow white, rippled lights stealing over baby fists, dappling blooms bought her. Careful carved, hand held for posterity, anemones wilt, tulips ox eyes, rosemary lilies, bleach love lies bleeding. Lydia's lace-tight calm austerity makes the still clappers of city bells rise, hymning dead, Fulham's daughter, Tom's pleading. So that was my kind of response to that object. The other thing I chose was there was a portrait by an Austrian etcher called Kathy Koljewitz.
Oh yes, wonderful.
Portrait of a working class woman, and I wrote about that as well, because again it really struck me with its sort of simplicity but genius. It was a lovely thing. Anyway, I shall read you another Brighton poem now. This is just called Artist. Around him waltz-rouged women and louche men, or spibs and good time girls pushed by his chair, lobby filling with slipped gowns and rented suits. He's better dressed than them. Versace handkerchief, gilt 1940s watch, strap fragile as sunglasses kept on indoors. Flamed tie shapely as a red sheath dress, face set, hands manicured, walk sloped, as if emerging from one of the pictures he copies for a living. Dark glasses make his eyes unreadable. He could be film noir, villain or victim, delicate fingers made for circling a wine glass. Stepping between scarlet and jet, he holds out photographs of favoured images like tarot cards. Competition dancer, number at his back, gazing from a balcony. Girl entertaining chiffon morning roses, well-heeled couples paddling. Which do you like, he asks. I point to the numbered man. He signs the photos back and hands it to me, fingers trembling. His voice is full of cases being packed, of clasps snapped shut, petals dropping, dance number taken off and cast binwards, full of wine glasses in undetected corners, of flash harries and satin-clad honeys leaning out from repeated canvases of black, white, crimson.